more than 4,500 years ago, in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. One of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world rose in the valley of the Indus River. They built vast, meticulously planned cities with wide streets, sophisticated drainage systems, multi-story brick houses with bathrooms, and enormous public baths, all constructed with remarkable precision. This was not Egypt. This was not Mesopotamia. This was the Indus Valley Civilization, one of the greatest and most mysterious urban cultures of the ancient world. They built cities larger and more advanced than almost anything else at the time. They traded across thousands of kilometers. They created a writing system we still cannot read. And then, at the height of their power, they simply disappeared. No grand battles recorded. No obvious signs of invasion. No clear explanation written in stone. In this video, we will explore one of history's most puzzling disappearances, what really happened to the Indus Valley Civilization, and why one of the most sophisticated societies of the ancient world vanished almost without a trace. In the 1920s, British archaeologists working in British India made one of the most astonishing discoveries in the history of archaeology. While excavating near the village of Harappa, they uncovered the ruins of an ancient city that no one expected to find. At first, they thought it was just another medieval settlement. But as they dug deeper, they realized they had found something far older. Soon after, a second major site was discovered at Mohenjo-daro, about 400 kilometers to the south. Both cities turned out to be part of a previously unknown civilization that had flourished more than 4,500 years ago. These were not primitive villages. They were meticulously planned urban centers. Mohenjo-daro alone covered more than 250 hectares and may have housed up to 40,000 people at its peak. The streets were laid out in a perfect grid pattern, with main roads up to 10 meters wide. Houses were built with standardized baked bricks, all of the same size and ratio. Many homes had their own wells, bathrooms, and toilets connected to an advanced citywide drainage system. Covered drains ran along the streets, complete with inspection holes for maintenance. This level of urban planning and sanitation was unmatched anywhere in the ancient world at that time, including Egypt and Mesopotamia. The civilization, which we now call the Indus Valley Civilization or Harappan Civilization, stretched across a vast area, larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. It included hundreds of settlements, from large cities to small farming villages. They had standardized weights and measures, sophisticated craftsmanship, and extensive trade networks that reached as far as Mesopotamia. Yet despite all this sophistication, we still cannot read their writing. Thousands of inscriptions have been found, but the script remains undeciphered. We don't even know what language they spoke. But what did daily life look like in these remarkable cities? And what clues can they give us about the mysterious fate of this once great civilization? What made the Indus Valley cities truly exceptional was their engineering and organization. Unlike many contemporary cultures, they built almost entirely in baked brick, using a standard size that was used across hundreds of kilometers. This standardization suggests a strong central authority or at least a shared cultural system. Their drainage and sanitation systems were far ahead of their time. Not only did individual houses have bathrooms, but the wastewater was carried away through covered channels that ran along the streets, preventing flooding and disease. Some houses even had their own toilets connected to these sewers, a luxury almost unheard of in the ancient world. The cities also featured large public structures. The most famous is the Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro, a large waterproof pool surrounded by rooms, likely used for ritual bathing. There were also granaries, assembly halls, and possibly warehouses for trade goods. The Indus people were skilled craftsmen and traders. They produced high-quality pottery, jewelry from carnelian, lapis lazuli and gold, as well as bronze tools and figurines. Their seals, often featuring animals and the undeciphered script, have been found in Mesopotamia, indicating extensive maritime and overland trade. They were among the first to cultivate cotton and weave it into cloth. They also grew wheat, barley, rice, sesame, and domesticated animals including cattle, sheep, goats, and possibly the chicken. This level of technological and organizational sophistication raises an important question: how did such a complex society function without obvious palaces, temples, or monumental royal tombs, the usual signs of powerful rulers in other ancient civilizations? Yet for all their achievements, one day this great civilization began to decline, and eventually disappeared almost completely. Around 1900 BCE, the Indus Valley civilization began to decline. The great cities were gradually abandoned. Trade decreased dramatically. The once carefully maintained drainage systems fell into disrepair. And by around 1700 BCE, most of the major urban centers had been deserted. What makes this collapse particularly mysterious is how little evidence of violence there is. Unlike many other ancient civilizations that fell due to invasion or war, the Indus Valley shows almost no signs of large-scale destruction or battle. So what happened? For a long time, scholars believed that the civilization was destroyed by invading Indo-Aryan tribes. This theory was based partly on later Vedic texts that mention conflicts with dark-skinned people called Dasa. However, modern archaeology has largely rejected this idea. There is little evidence of mass violence or sudden conquest at the main sites. Instead, scientists now point to a combination of environmental factors. The Indus River and its tributaries may have changed course, causing major floods or droughts. Climate change could have led to a long period of aridification, making agriculture more difficult. Some studies suggest tectonic activity may have altered river systems in the region. But was that enough to cause the complete collapse of such a large and sophisticated civilization? While environmental changes likely played a major role, several other theories have been proposed to explain the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. Some researchers suggest that a series of large floods, possibly caused by tectonic shifts that altered the course of the Indus River and its tributaries, devastated the agricultural lands and cities. Others point to a long period of climate change, a gradual drying of the region that made large-scale farming unsustainable. A more controversial theory proposes that the civilization may have suffered from an epidemic or plague. The densely populated cities with sophisticated but not always perfectly hygienic drainage systems could have become breeding grounds for disease. Another idea is that internal social or economic problems led to the decline. Perhaps the centralized authority weakened, trade routes were disrupted, or there was a breakdown in the social structure that had maintained the cities for centuries. Some even suggest that the people may have deliberately abandoned the large urban centers and returned to a more rural, village-based way of life, a conscious choice rather than a catastrophe. What makes the mystery even deeper is that the decline was not sudden. It happened gradually over several centuries, with some smaller settlements continuing to exist long after the great cities were abandoned. Adding to the enigma is the fact that we still cannot read their writing. The Indus script consists of short inscriptions, mostly on seals and pottery, containing between 400 and 600 different symbols. Despite decades of attempts by linguists and cryptographers, it remains undeciphered. One reason is the lack of long bilingual texts like the Rosetta Stone. Another is that the inscriptions are very short, often just a few symbols, making it difficult to identify patterns or grammar. Some scholars even debate whether it represents a true writing system or a more symbolic form of notation. All these theories have one thing in common: they show how fragile even the most advanced ancient societies could be, and how much we still have to learn about our own past. The disappearance of the Indus Valley Civilization remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. After flourishing for nearly 1,000 years, this sophisticated culture faded away, leaving behind silent cities and undeciphered symbols. What happened to them may never be known with certainty. But their story carries an important lesson. Even the most advanced societies can be vulnerable to changes in climate, environment, and internal stability. Today, the ruins of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro stand as a powerful reminder that human civilization is not guaranteed. It must be carefully maintained, adapted, and protected. Perhaps the greatest legacy of the Indus Valley Civilization is not the cities they built, but the warning they left us about how easily great achievements can disappear if we are not careful. Thank you for watching this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, the rise and sudden disappearance of the Indus Valley Civilization. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. In the next video, we will explore another astonishing ancient enigma, the enigma of the Antikythera mechanism. Did ancient Greeks have a computer? See you in the next one.